Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
The Edmonton Police send out an urgent warning.
When these pills or tablets are made, there's no quality control.
Poverty looks to be addressed in Edmonton.
I went out and got a job and got a little help, and I haven't really looked back since.
Pesticides are becoming under greater scrutiny all the time.
A pesticide ban is rejected by City Council.
NAIT NewsWatch starts right now.
Good evening. A warning is being issued concerning a drug that has taken the lives of 8 in Calgary.
A hallucinogen known as PMMA is believed to be making its way to Edmonton. 4 non-fatal overdoses have already been reported in our city. Detective Guy Pilon says that partygoers wouldn't be able to notice the difference between a pure ecstasy pill and a tainted one.
When these pills or tablets are made, there's no quality control. It's not a scientist that's mixing it. It's somebody who's just dumping a bunch of chemicals into a vat and pressing them into pills.
PMMA is cut into ecstasy for additional profit. Police are hoping people become more aware about the dangers of this drug. More than 73,000 children in Alberta live in poverty.
Anti-poverty groups are now urging provincial leaders to rethink their strategies by focusing on preventing poverty rather than reducing it. Amanda Torg joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
A new study done by anti-poverty groups says poverty cost Alberta billions of dollars last year.
Samuel Brown has been living in poverty for years and over time has gained strong emotions on how Alberta has dealt with situations.
I've got my own place for the last 2.5 years. I got tired of bouncing around. Went out and got a job and got a little help, and I haven't really looked back since.
Homeward Trust is trying to help people like Brown by launching a new 5-year community plan in hopes of targeting the root cause of poverty in Alberta.
$10, good value.
Raising the Roof held its Toque Tuesday earlier this week to raise awareness of poverty, putting focus more so on the homeless youth in Edmonton.
That it's estimated that there's, at any given time in Canada and across the country, there's up to 65,000 youth without a place to live. That's a shame.
Last year, Alberta's poverty resulted in higher health care costs. A total of $50 million was spent. Implementing the new 5-year plan will result in 130,000 fewer visits to hospitals.
$10 tubes.
Anti-poverty groups are trying to get the government to focus more on education, literacy, and prevention of poverty.
They're going to eliminate poverty, they're going to eliminate homelessness. They're all full of It's like saying, we're going to eliminate pain. You can't.
Anti-poverty groups estimate a total of $9.5 billion was spent last year on reducing poverty in Alberta.
Amanda, has the homeless population in Edmonton increased?
No, Will, it actually decreased since 1999 by 21%.
So Amanda, you mentioned the campaign Toque Tuesday. Where can people go to help support it?
You can purchase your own toque for $10 at City Hall until the end of the month, or you can go online at raisingtheroof.org.
Thanks, Amanda. That's Amanda reporting live from our news center tonight.
This is NAIT NewsWatch.
We do it every year, and with warmer weather approaching, the next few months, lawn care and maintenance will be on our minds again.
But according to a recent city discussion, we may have to examine what we're putting into our lawn and gardens. Bart Patiasic has more from City Hall.
Earlier this week, Edmonton City Hall has declined a proposed pesticide ban made by local healthcare professionals, saying that the current pest management system has cut down the use of these chemicals as it is. Local businesses were pleased with the results.
Dave Montgomery and Travis Pulver run Green Oasis Lawn Care, and they are already preparing themselves for a busy summer. In addition to regular off-season maintenance and planning, this season they are again involved in another pesticide ban debate in the city.
At the council is we have some medical doctors there that are expressing an opinion. They aren't toxicologists, and they aren't scientists, and they aren't the people that regulate the products.
The city has cut down their spraying in recent years and even set up herbicide-free zones at certain parks and schools. The Canadian Cancer Society still thinks it's too much.
And we're concerned about linkages to numerous cancers. Probably some of the most serious would be non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and leukemia, especially amongst children.
Jim Hole, a well-known greenhouse operator, thinks debates like this are good for the industry.
But yeah, pesticides are becoming under greater scrutiny all the time. And I think it's a good thing, but because we should be really looking at what these things do. But at the same time, it has to be based on science, I believe.
Pulfer agrees, but isn't sold on any evidence provided to the city thus far.
And this has been going on since the 90s, where they say they have this growing body of evidence. Well, at the end of the day, there is no growing body of evidence, because if there was, they'd give that to Health Canada, and Health Canada would come back and say, okay, this product's no good, this product's no good.
The city has decided to push these talks till 2014.
Now, this decision hasn't stopped the Canadian Cancer Society and others in fighting this issue. They hope that Edmonton one day will join 170 other Canadian municipalities with similar pesticide bans in place. In the meantime, councillors have decided to study the situation and come back to it in 2 years' time.
Thanks, Bart. That's Bart Pediasic reporting from City Hall.
While the rest of the world is still recovering from hard economic times, Alberta is experiencing a rise in the job market. With a sudden need for more construction in the city and around Alberta, Edmonton has seen full-time employment go up, but part-time employment go down. Though this may seem like bad news for part-timers, it may be quite the opposite.
Full-time jobs tend to be much more stable jobs. They last longer. So when you see a situation where part-time employment is falling and full-time employment is improving or going up, that's generally a very good thing.
Experts also believe the next 12 to 24 months should be good, depending on the oil and gas industry.
A historical collaboration between Canada and China is about to take place. 5 Edmonton public high schools and 5 schools from Shandong province in China will work together on a project focusing on water and water management. The project is designed for students from grade 10 to 11 who will participate in real learning opportunities.
What we really hope to achieve is that the students, both in Alberta and in China, will have a profound experience that they can learn from, which will in fact help them as they become what we anticipate to be our future leaders.
The East of the Mountain project started in 2007 and will work with professors and researchers from the University of Alberta.
A big demand for electricians has labor employers worried this winter. With the economy doing as well as it is, many employers are having trouble meeting company quota. The Electricity Sector Council has called the help for employers, educators, governments, and unions to solve this matter.
The forecast is that there's going to be a lot of people in the electricity sector that are going to be retiring over the next 5 years. So that's part of it.
NAIT is expecting over 2,000 electric apprentices to join the program.
7 NAIT culinary students will be competing in a 4-day challenge in Dubai. The students will be up against more than 2,000 students from around the world. They will have 1 hour to prepare for the main courses with salmon as a central item.
At first it didn't feel like we are going, like it's just practice, 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 and then when they told us we're going, it's like, oh, practice harder and stuff. Yeah, but I guess it'll be fun.
NAIT will be the only team representing Canada in the competition.
In our school, we have a great opportunity for our students to take to the international scene. And because of our past history of competing in the international competition, the school has placed very well in the world scene.
The competition will take place February 21st to 24th.
As Alberta enters its 100th anniversary, people will be able to take a look in the past. The Royal Alberta Museum has opened a new photo exhibit giving people the opportunity to see Alberta's historical past. These pictures provide a wonderful insight at how simple but difficult the labor force used to be here in Alberta. Kathy Roy, the curator at the museum, believes that though technology has made labor easier, we owe credit to the people in the labor force.
All the credit is given to the investors and the inventors and the innovators. We don't think about the day-to-day, everyday work that most Albertans are performing.
The exhibit is on until June 24th.
Not all dogs are well taken care of or have a good home. A local organization is helping to change that. The Sundance Canine Rescue Society held an adoption day last Sunday to help find the right home for these lovable creatures. This program is aimed to help dogs who have been abandoned and severely abused. The cost of adopting a dog is more affordable and beneficial for these dogs.
It's $300, which includes spay and neuter, all their shots. They are microchipped, and also includes 6 weeks pet insurance. That's all included in the $300.
Sundance Rescue will be holding an adoption event on February 25th. For more information, visit thesundancerescue.com.
Coming up after the break, the residents of Spruce Grove come together for a special event.
The city had the joy of hosting Alberta's Winter Games this week.
It's halfway through the school semester and stress seems to be hitting an all-time high for students.
Coming up in sports, I check out some Oops basketball action, and I hope all the Skyrim I play translate well to fencing. All that and more coming up after the break.
A sense of excitement filled the air in the Spruce Grove community this week.
Teachers, parents, and students came together for a special ceremony. Students from surrounding schools gathered to take part in the torch relay to kick off the Alberta Winter Games. Over 2,000 people from various schools will participate in 22 different sports. 16-year-old Erin is excited to participate in the relay and be a part of the whole experience.
Just getting to pass on the torch to the athletes that are, participating now and getting to, carry on the spirit of the games, because it's an awesome thing to participate in.
The response has been fantastic, the energy's building and the excitement is there, so we really look forward to kicking it off officially tomorrow night.
The Alberta Winter Games began on Thursday.
This winter, I haven't really noticed a big change in the weather except it being really hot until now.
I think this week I've had to bundle up more, so yeah, it's been pretty chilly. And now Tiff joins us here with weather.
Hey Tiff.
Hi you guys. Yeah, we did have a brief cool down, but you guys can look forward to some warmer temperatures. They will be a little bit above average, so that's pretty good news. Let's take a look at the boards. So for Jasper, they'll be waking up Monday morning to minus 15, and it'll be warming up throughout the day to minus 2. There is a 30% chance of flurries there. Now Fort McMurray will be waking up to minus 14, so it's a little bit brisk there as well, and it'll warm up to minus 4 throughout the day. Now in Calgary, they'll be waking up to a gorgeous minus 6, and it'll warm up to plus 3. In Edmonton, your capital city, you'll be waking up to a nice minus 11, and it'll warm up to minus 1. So you'll have to make sure to enjoy some outdoor activities that day. Your sunrise will be at 7:57 a.m. and the sunset will be at 5:53. Now let's take a look at the records. 1909, minus 39 degrees. Now that is pretty cold, and the high in 1934 was plus 11. So that is pretty nice. That'd be a great temperature to wake up to.
Weather brought to you by NR92.
So like I said, we did have that brief cool down, but you guys can look forward to a nice couple of weeks that are to come. So there's your weather forecast.
Thank you, Tiff. That sounds great. The combination of exams, assignments, and part-time jobs can take its toll on many college students.
And with the midway point of the semester approaching, there may be some who have trouble adjusting. Our own Kyle Polanski has more on that story.
It's that time of year again where students begin to prepare for midterm exams, and with that comes stress and anxiety, an all too familiar feeling for many post-secondary students.
Things like you've got midterms coming up, you've got labs to do and assignments every week, and everything just builds up, and even small things like parking around NAIT, it's just, the stress just keeps and keeps on adding up.
Many college students are accustomed to pulling all-nighters, often with the assistance of caffeinated beverages. This causes students to suffer from stress-related symptoms, such as sleep deprivation and increased irritability during these times. But Councillor Dave Appel says there are ways to fight back against such symptoms.
Yes. One of the best things to do is to get exercise, and that can just simply be going for a walk, because that's one of the best ways to reduce stress.
Now, whether it's midterm exams or simply trying to find a parking space around campus, there are many reasons for a college student to begin to show signs of stress.
That's why post-secondary institutions have implemented what is now known as Reading Week.
Reading Week gives students the opportunity to get away from the busy school atmosphere, allowing them to recuperate and come back in a stress-free state of mind. If the stress continues to be a recurring issue, school counselors encourage students to book an appointment.
And of course, students are always welcome to come in and make appointments to see a counselor, and a lot of them do take advantage of that. We do see quite an increase in the demand for counseling as exams approach.
Kyle Plansky, NAIT NewsWatch.
Nick Barry is here now with sports. And Nick, both basketball teams were in action this past weekend.
Yes.
And I heard you went fencing?
Yeah, my sword skills were put to the test this past week. I got both of the highlights from the game over on Friday, and I have some Eskimos news. That's coming up next. Both of the Ukes basketball teams were in action last Friday night in the NAIT main gym as they were taking on their 109th Street rivals, the Grant MacEwan Griffins. The NAIT women in their home whites, MacEwan in the darks. Emily Somerville dishes to Courtney Knox and she drains a triple. That was the story in the first half. Hillary Anich drops in 3 more, and the Griffins just kept on hitting and hitting and hitting from deep. Then with the half winding down, Josephine Peacock takes it strong to the hoop for 2. But MacEwan was up 45-24 at halftime. Third quarter now, and cue the PJ Wells show. She took the hot shooting from the Griffins, cashing a couple threes here, and then getting a tough off-balance 3 to drop in as well. It was all for naught, though, as the Griffins would hold on to keep their perfect record intact. I caught up with Ukes assistant coach Ron Hopkins afterward.
We picked it up, pressed them really hard, shot better than we normally shoot. And I thought for the level of the competition, because they're ranked #1 in the country, I thought we played really well.
Men's game now. These teams were back and forth most of the night, trading threes here. Then with the half winding down, Gamachu Ibrahim drains one and probably should have got the and one with it. Skip ahead to the fourth now. Tommy Watson drills one from the parking lot, and Brett Callio adds another. Then the Griffins take the lead here on this fast break bucket. Jordan Ryder did everything he could, beating the shot clock here, but Watson dropped another to put MacEwan up. And in the dying seconds, NAIT's Brock McMillan backs down, can't get it to fall, and the follow's no good either. And the Griffins used a 29-point fourth quarter to take it 72-70. The Eskimos welcome back a familiar face to their defense this week, and their famous locker room adage holds true.
The walking in these doors is a saying that once an Eskimo is always an Eskimo, and that's a true belief of mine, and I will be ever forever an Eskimo.
After coming to the team as a teenager in 2003, Rashad Genty is back after playing parts of 4 seasons down south in the NFL. With all the added experience, Rashad is looking to take on a leadership role for the club in the upcoming season.
Definitely. You know, I'm not a guy that talk too much, but I kind of, you know, let my skills and my work ethic speak for itself, and hopefully guys, you know, pull along with me and as well as push me to my limits. You know, it's all a team, and that's what it's all about.
And he's excited to be back in the city where it all started.
You know, I'm happy that I'm here in Edmonton and looking forward to bigger and better things.
With the London Summer Olympics creeping ever closer, I wanted to try a sport featured in them. This week I went down to the Edmonton Fencing Club to get a few pointers.
Founded by head coach and former gold medalist Juji Luan, the Edmonton Fencing Club is home to over 300 active members, so I thought there was no better place for me to get some insight into the sport. First, they had me do some warm-ups, working on my lunging and my footwork, and I quickly found out my cardio isn't what it used to be.
I'm already bagged, man.
Olivia McGann has been fencing for 5 years now, and she gave me some tips on what is required of the athletes in the sport.
Well, the greatest way to understand fencing is that it's physical chess. You have to play your opponent, you also have to play the ref, but you have to decide yourself what you're going to do.
After searching through the racks trying to find some form-fitting equipment,
Might need a bigger one.
Olivia explained the 3 disciplines in the sport.
There are 3 different swords, and the sword looks different, but it's mostly the target area. So there's one called saber, where target area is from the hips up, then one called foil, which you'll be doing today, which is the vest, and then the third is called épée, which is the whole body is target area.
Reynald Fu got into the sport after the 2008 Beijing Olympics and explains why he enjoys it so much.
It's not a sport where you can just use brute force or like just because you're faster or stronger you can win. It's a sport where you have to think about it too. You have to set up your actions, you have to control the piece, you have to control your opponent, you have to make them do what you want to do.
With that, I was ready for a match. The first point was quick, and it didn't get any easier. And no, these aren't replays. My sword skills need some work, so I guess London is out of the question, but I'll aim for 2016 in Rio.
Hardest part about fencing?
It's just some awkward movements, like poking forward all the time. My hamstrings were killing me after that.
It looks like a good workout, though.
It was. It definitely was.
Okay. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Coming up after the break, Anna and I took a drive down to the Seniors Assisted Transportation Society.
It's always good to help those who need it. SATS has an easy way to let you do so.
This week I learned how to shuffle at the LMFAO concert. Every day we shuffle, and it's all coming up on entertainment.
NAIT NewsWatch jackets sponsored by JobSite Workwear.
This past week, Anna and I lent a helping hand.
We went to a nonprofit organization that helps the elderly. The Seniors Assisted Transportation Society of Edmonton recruits volunteers to drive elderly people to their destination. We met Myrtle Marks, who has been using the organization for many years.
My mobility, I've had a back injury, so my mobility is limited, and so it certainly gives me the not only for my necessities for groceries, but pleasure as well.
Later on, we helped Myrtle run some errands. To volunteer, visit satsofedmonton.org.
Our entertainment reporter has been all over the city this week, covering everything from the performing and visual arts.
Right down to fancy footwork at a concert. All that and more coming up in entertainment.
Fresh off their Super Bowl performance with Madonna, only one half of LMFAO came to Party Rock in Edmonton. Sky Blue of LMFAO was still unable to make the Cherry Tree concert that was rescheduled due to a back injury. While some fans were disappointed, most made the best of the situation.
It's going to be a good show either way, but it would have been better if he was here, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have been better if he was here, but it's happening now, so might as well enjoy it.
People already waited since December, so no point in waiting longer.
While the Party Rock hitmakers were the main act, there were plenty of other performers such as the Far East Movement to make the concert worthwhile. It is yet to be determined when Sky Blue will be able to rejoin the tour. An art exhibit celebrates its 5th anniversary at the Art Gallery of Alberta in honor of Black History Month. 5 Artists, One Love has expanded to feature 13 artists for the special anniversary. The collection draws inspiration from history to personal experiences. But for Kyrie Crooks, it's all about diversity.
What I want to express is the diversity that we have going on in the city. It's not just one particular type of culture. It's a big culture all mixed into one.
The exhibit opened to a large crowd from all backgrounds to celebrate Black History Month.
I think for Africans or Black people, art and culture is very important, so this speaks to that.
The 5 Artists, One Love exhibit is now running at the Art Gallery of Alberta until March 3rd. Junior high students from all over the city got together to compete in a growing after-school activity.
I really love paper and not your daughter.
A total of 17 teams participated in the 6th annual Improv Wars. Improv coach and host Jim Moore has seen a significant increase in participants since it began.
We have a lot of students who have told me they've never won a trophy or a ribbon in anything, and suddenly they're walking off the improv stage feeling like winners.
While judges were there to give constructive criticism, students like Victoria were focused on having fun.
I like meeting all the entertaining people, because lots of the people who do this are
so fun to talk to and like so energetic. It's really great.
Just last year, a junior high division was added to the Wildfire Festival, which you can check out starting next week. A Broadway musical with a title you might not easily recognize is the latest play to hit the stage in Edmonton. Merrily We Roll Along is Grant McEwen's newest production. A musical told in reverse, the plot revolves around three close friends.
It's about friendship and how to keep it together and do you grow together.
The music isn't full of your usual bubbly music and cheer. It takes a hard look at the dangers of fame and selling out.
What I love about the show is that I love the life that it's been given. I think it's really become an excellent musical that's been overlooked.
Merrily We Roll Along is now playing until February 17th. Tickets are on sale at Tix on the Square, but we have 2 pairs to give away to 2 lucky viewers. The first 2 viewers to tweet at NAIT NewsWatch about the play will win tickets to Friday, February the 17th show. It's that time of year when Hollywood pumps out romantic movies like nobody's business. But this Valentine's Day, skip the sappy and check out this romantic comedy.
It's a new kind of spy versus spy, and this means war. 2 top CIA agents who are also best friends fall for the same girl.
What were you doing on the computer? I photographed my girl. I was doing the same thing. You want to see her? You're on 3. 1, 2, 3. That's Lauren Scott.
I feel weird about dating 2 guys at once. The girl is played by Reese Witherspoon, and hilarity ensues when the guys played by Chris Pine and Tom Hardy decide to keep her in the dark while they play for her heart.
May the best man win.
Really? I think my triggering mechanism was stuck in that. Oh my God!
So Jimmy Kimmel challenges viewers to unplug the TV during the Super Bowl.
What in the heck are you doing over there? Can you just not touch that?
What are you doing?
You see that Christmas tree right there? It's February.
Turn this back on.
Well, I'm not much of a football fan, but I can definitely relate to the woman watching Majana. That's all for entertainment this week. Back to Will and Anna.
I'm not usually a fan of romantic comedies, but that one actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Chris Pine again on the movie screen.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Good night.